Los Angeles, I'm and most Hollywood nights. She comes to California, oh, California.
What you say about Los Angeles?
LA got the people saying,
You're listening to Corner of the Galaxy on cornerofthegalaxy.com. Welcome to Corner of the Galaxy, the show that talks 100% LA Galaxy soccer. We're glad you could join us. Now it's time to sit back and relax as your hosts navigate through the twisting, turning, but never boring world of your six-time MLS Cup champion, LA Galaxy. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Corner of the Galaxy on cornerofthegalaxy.com. I'm your host, Josh Guesman, coming to you on a Thursday, February 5th. The LA Galaxy 2 weeks to get away from a meaningful game when they kick off in the CONCACAF Champions Cup. Some of that already taking place. If you've been watching around the league, CONCACAF Champions Cup is underway. The LA Galaxy getting ready to make their way out to Coachella Valley Invitational. That's right, out in the desert, where, of course, we will be on Sunday as well. It's LA versus Chicago Fire, and then following them, it will be Corner of the Galaxy live from Coachella from the third straight season. So we got a lot to get to, a lot of things we need to, some rumors going off, maybe the ones that you aren't expecting that are probably more real than ones that you've been hearing a lot about. But in order to help us do all of that, we are glad, so glad to have her back. It is the one, the only Miss Sophie, the Cannon, Nicolaou. Soph, how are you doing? Oh, you're muted. It's okay, because
rookie mistake.
Yeah, I know. It's okay.
Mistake.
It was my fault.
No. And I got into it too. I was given the salute, and I'm like, at ease, Galaxians. Here we go. Season 17. Congratulations, Josh Guesman.
It's 18 actually now. It's even 18. I haven't even changed the graphics yet. That's how crazy it's been.
Well, that made me look bad.
No, it's fine. It's me. I need to change the graphics. I need to do a lot of things.
It's not you, it's me.
It's
not you, it's me.
I need to do so much. There's so much stuff. I don't like
need help.
I don't like to share this part, Soph, but we have the live show coming up on Sunday, and I have a whole bunch of stuff to do on Saturday. So it's not like I can sit and obsess on Saturday all day about all the stuff that I'm taking, make sure I don't forget anything. So I'm already stressing out about the fact that I'm going to be busy on Saturday and then have to get up early on Sunday, make sure I have everything out there, and then go get set up in the middle of the desert where there's like not a lot of extra stuff whenever you need it. So yeah, that's it. Just a little stress point as of right now.
I think you're missing a trick.
Yeah?
I think you need an intern. Not that, hey, and we're not talking 1990s intern.
Not 1990s, right? Okay.
We're talking millennial, ambitious, I want to make it in podcasting.
Right.
Intern who will carry some of your stuff.
Yes.
And, grab you a pupusa when you need it.
Be careful.
All right?
Yes. Absolutely.
And run around and do all the oily work on Saturday.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So then when Sunday comes, it's all packed. You are Miranda missing a intern type assistant. I'm talking about Miranda, of course, from The Devil Wears Prada, that type.
Oh, okay. Okay, I thought we were going Sex and the City, and I was like, I am more of a Miranda from Sex and the City than anything else. But that's fine. I understand.
So if you were attributing yourself to one of the characters in Sex and the City, you're a Miranda.
Yes, I believe so.
Boy.
I believe so. Yeah.
Have you seen the follow-up show and
No.
Just Like This? Because I think you changed your mind. Yes,
I'm sure I would. I'm sure. Well, yeah, but I haven't done that. No, I'm obsessed. I want to tell all our listeners this. I've been watching, and by the way, I'm late to this party. I realize this. I've been watching The Rookie. Which is the LAPD cop drama that's on, I think it's on Fox, whatever it is. But the hysterical Josh is Samantha, sometimes not wrong.
The funny thing is that I was watching it and there was a helicopter quote unquote crash scene, and the helicopter crashed into the parking lot that we were all parking in for the season ticket member event last Saturday. And I'm like,
Oh my God, I love it.
I had to stop it, get my wife, who was not in the room. She was upstairs getting ready for bed. I'm like, you gotta come down and see this. I gotta show you this. I was in that parking lot. She's like, great. And that was
I love
yeah.
that.
Mhm.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
I did a
ABC.
shootout scene.
Yes.
A shootout scene with Kiefer Sutherland and 24 a good few years ago. And I love the way it makes people feel when they see stuff like that, because it's still so cool.
It is. It's very. It's on ABC.
But it is annoying too if you get stuck in traffic.
I would have to imagine the whole deal. But anyway, no. So that was that. So no, I am. This is in general. I tend to, as somebody who has ADHD, and apparently this is a thing that ADHD people say. I say yes to everything. So then I have like 7 million things to do. Because I'm like, yeah, I can squeeze that in, no problem. So I have a lot to do this weekend, but I'm super excited. Let's remind everybody once again, you need to get your passes. Come out to the Coachella Valley Invitational. The game.
Oh, look at you with the big hitters, huh?
I know, right? One big hit. It's Tom the Mustache Man. By the way, congratulations to him. He just had a little one, a little baby. So we'll not be making it out to the desert. So that's unfortunate for us, but good for him. We were reminiscing about dad things there whenever I messaged him. Yeah.
It's just excuses.
I said, oh man, they're so much fun. I go, until they start getting opinions on chicken nuggets, and then it's all downhill from there. So,
Wow.
no. So
does that child who's just been born realize he's been born to
the Tommy Scoops?
American David Ornstein? Does he realize this kid?
No, not yet. And he probably won't think, he or she, I don't know which. They will not know that their father is Tommy Two Scoops and how cool his job is. It took me 14, 15 years of Grayson, like, thinking that I was totally uncool until I could bring her to the stadium, and she was like, "Oh wait, no, you're pretty cool." I'm like, "Yeah, that's what I've been trying to tell you." So that's it. So no Tommy there, which is unfortunate for all of us because we certainly would have had him on the show. But just a reminder, if you're headed out to Coachella Valley Invitational on Sunday, February 8th, our show starts immediately after the LA Galaxy versus Chicago Fire game, approximately 11:40, 11:45, right in there. You can see the star. We are sort of in that southeast corner. There's going to be the general admission stands that sit as you're walking in, that are sort of facing the long side of the field, and we'll be off to the left-hand side. We're tucked away there, but we'll go about saying hi to everybody during, hopefully for pregame and maybe some into at halftime, and make sure you know where we're at, and then we start quick. This is the third year we've done it. I'm here to tell you, it goes very, very quickly between the game being over and our music starting, and that's because the players and Greg have to get out of there. So we need to make sure that we get them in and out. Greg Vanny's scheduled. I think Will Kuntz scheduled. Tom Braun scheduled. We have a couple players that we have in mind. The Hammer is flying out from Texas in order to be there, so he will be there. He asked me if he could wear shorts, and he goes, as a media member, I'm not allowed to wear shorts, right? And I'm like, yeah, but buddy, you're talent this time. You're not media. And he's like, that's right. Right. So we got.
Yeah, this is like caddies at the Masters. You can't wear your shorts at the Masters.
No, you can't.
No, you can't do that.
But it's a lot of fun. So we can't wait to see everybody there. Now, just in case you do show up, we have some stickers here. This is the Redemption Tour Stairway to 7 COG sticker. With 6 little shining stars there and a little stairway to 7, as we like to call it. There's that one. And then we also have these cards here that we're giving out. These aren't stickers, but just cards. They have our nice logo on it with some stars on it, a little information on the back that you can share with your friends. We will also try to get the players to possibly sign some of those before they go, so that way we can hand those out to everybody. So, yeah.
Oh, could I add a gift that you could give to someone?
Yes.
Because I was sent 2. And thank you to the LA Galaxy team for sending this. I travel a lot, and I love travel bag stuff, and I love
So
they're fantastic.
One of these is a DOP kit, and one of them is like a holder for your wires and stuff, right? They're different. They're not the same. See, now you don't have any to give away. I just took everybody else's stuff. No.
I do have a classic. I do have a classic MLS Cup towel that I want. I'm going to give you something.
Okay.
To give away.
Sounds good. Sounds good. I'll bring it.
Yeah. Oh, well done, Josh. Thanks for letting me know that. No,
I
you
know.
can't have it,
Now,
Galaxians.
it's really
sorry.
nice. It's super. I have mine already filled. Mine are sitting here next to the desk. I have I'm getting ready to go on a little trip, and I'm like, oh, time to fill up that DOP kit. Very nice. So, really fun.
But I better take the other one back from Tony then, because it's not it's
she
not
can't.
for her lipsticks and stuff.
No, she can't have it. Nope, those are for wires and stuff. Yep, all yours. Just a reminder of the schedule that's coming up for the LA Galaxy. They just finished a scrimmage against OCSC. That was a closed door scrimmage, or as like we like to say on the podcast, a closed gate scrimmage, because there are no doors out onto the pitch. Coming up then is the February 8th game against Chicago Fire, then another CVI game on February 11th, 11 a.m., and then February 13th is a closed door game at CVI. That one is against Real Salt Lake. So that is your schedule there. Now that means, Sophie, if we are playing the home game, that the LA Galaxy are now halfway through the preseason. All right. And I would love to say, I know, it's so fast. I would love to say, so here's what we've learned so far, but we can't because we have not seen them play. Nobody has seen them play outside of people who are inside the organization. And while I have certainly texted and called and talked to a bunch of those people, I do have some insights that I think I have shared here. I can't tell you what I've seen from this team because we have not seen them play. That being said, Sunday is your first chance at seeing your 2026 LA Galaxy in front of a crowd. This will be the first time that the 2026 LA Galaxy will play in front of a crowd. And if you're going to CVI, that's awesome because you'll get to see it up close. You'll get to experience it. You'll get to hang out with us afterwards and do the show. If you're not, however, I would have told you perhaps you're going to be unlucky. Maybe there won't be a stream to watch. But I am here to tell you that the LA Galaxy announced today.
You got the press release.
Yes, we did. Yes, absolutely. AEG and Golden Voice have made deals with some broadcasting, some basically Fox and Gray and some ABC and some of the broadcasting there that they have to televise some of these games, which now means the LA Galaxy at 10 a.m. on Sunday will be on KCOP, which if you're in Los Angeles, I believe it's channel 13, which is one of the Fox alternates there. So KCOP is where you can find that game, 10 a.m. Starting there. And the game against St. Louis City on the 11th will be at 11 a.m. also on KCOP. So you can get both of those. You can watch both of them. But hey, it gets even better, Soph, because if you don't have a television, you can watch them on your phone. LAGalaxy.com/stream. You get all of those. And so everybody can watch them. And listen, they've done this every year, but it's always a question about whether or not they're going to do it again. So we sort of expect it, but you always hold your breath to make sure to see if it goes through. So Sophie, now I know if you're not busy on Sunday morning, you can stream this. You can stream the game. I can stream the game while I'm out at Coachella and maybe also see some stuff. And I have to imagine that they're going to have one of the hardest working men in soccer doing the call because he usually does, Mr. Joe Citino. And he'll be calling it off of like a 9-inch, sometimes like black and white TV monitor in the stands. The dude is an absolute animal and does a great job. But yeah, that's sort of where it goes. We're going to talk about things possibly we have learned, even though we haven't seen them play. But it does feel weird to be at this point having not seen anything from the LA Galaxy in 2026. Not even sort of like there haven't even been very many videos released of any of this. If there were videos, it was from like somebody else on another team that was out there. So it feels like they've been behind the curtain for a little while.
I love it. Everyone wants to know everything these days. Instant gratification. Gimme, gimme, gimme. The news cycle, everything, it just flips so fast. What's the next thing? The insatiable appetite for information. Yada, yada, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
This is great. Preseason is the kind of week before Christmas. You know, you don't quite know what you're going to get. You hope for really great things. You just want to have a good time with your family, with your friends. And you don't ever want it to be over, right? Because Christmas goes by so quickly and stuff. And when it's over, you don't want to kind of have that depressing feeling like last season. So I love it. I think it's exciting. I think the club have put down a marker and they know that things didn't work out last season, of course. It was a disaster. Mm-hmm. So I love the anticipation. I love the unknown. And I love that even you are a little in the dark.
Yeah.
Ahead of CVI.
Yeah. I mean, I'm running on vibes right now, Soph, and that's sort of where I say, and that's okay. That's okay to run on vibe. You know what? That's just fine.
It's okay.
It's okay. Everybody will be okay. I'm running on
Vibes are not a plan. Vibes are not a plan,
No.
but it's okay to have them at this point.
At this point, just feel it a little bit, because it's almost like as you're starting to go to a concert, right? And you get there, maybe you're a little late, but the opener's playing, right? And so you're out in the parking lot as you're getting closer to where you need to go in. You can start hearing the bass. The bass is playing, right? Boom, 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 boom.
Stop.
Right?
Stop.
Yeah, I know. We were just talking about new music too. But you sort of get that, like, I'm going to a concert feeling. I can hear the bass.
Mm-hmm.
I can't wait to get in there. Even if you're at like a small club, you can hear it. Like, you can hear the bass from the outside. You're like, man, I want to get in there. This is it. And that's what this feels like right now. There have been these rumblings. There's been these little bits of information that sort of come out, but it's all feels like it's building up to this like crescendo where you finally get to either walk through the doors or you walk out of the tunnel or you do all these things, and then you're hit with like sort of the wall of sound. Sunday will be our wall of sound. Right? We will get there. It will feel like home. It will be comfortable. It will be loud. It will be everything you remembered it for, even though it feels like it was just yesterday that it stopped. It's been a long time. Crazy. Right? And I think we're starting to see some of that. So if we're starting to see some of the rumblings, if we're starting to feel that bass on the outside, the bass is saying right now, at least in what we can tell, that the LA Galaxy might be a defensive team this year. And that's something you probably couldn't have predicted even starting in 23, 24, 25. There was always these hopes the defense would get better. But there was some serious money put into the defense this year. And when I asked Will Kuntz why the investment in defense, and his answer was goals against. And that was his only answer. And it was like, that's a perfectly acceptable answer, right? That is the answer. Mm-hmm. We gave up too many goals. That's what Will Kuntz would say. We gave up too many goals. We got to fix it. So they go out and they get Glesnes. They go out and they get Hack. And now you have basically 4 starting center backs that any team could play probably anywhere in Major League Soccer. And now you get to figure out a way to play them all. But the reason that we think that the LA Galaxy are a defensive team is partly because of the match against Orange County SC, which I titled the stadium. You tried to steal our stadium match. Where the LA Galaxy at one point wanted to take over OCSC's stadium down in Irvine, right? The whole deal. So it was so everybody said afterwards. I got messages. They're like, "Does this mean that they get to keep that the Galaxy get to keep the stadium now?" So what we saw was goals scored by Lucas Sanabria and Joseph Paintsil. 2-0 is the final score. We have some photos courtesy of the LA Galaxy from that match. Gabriel Peck, Joseph Paintsil. You had Klaus in there, and you had Lucas Sanabria. Now. The reason that we sort of want to say that perhaps the LA Galaxy are a defensive team, Soph, is this preseason record. Now at 3-0-0, so undefeated in preseason. Not that that means anything, but let's look. Goals scored 7 for the LA Galaxy. Goals scored against 1. Just 1. Only DC United scored a goal against the LA Galaxy so far. The Portland Timbers are going to be a better team than I think we're giving them credit for right now. I don't think they're that right now, but I think they will be better. DC United is a dumpster fire and continues to be. And so I'm not sure you can really take too much from that, but they did allow 1 goal against DC United. Orange County SC is not an MLS opponent, and we know that. So the 2-0 scores is acceptable. And you knew, as some people have told, you have to imagine, so if you're a player on Orange County, you want to like go in there and impress somebody in that game. So it was probably a much more difficult game for the Galaxy than people would sort of give it credit for, just because it's preseason. Those guys want to show something, right? Whenever they're in front of MLS talent and everything else. So we're sort of getting this, but the 1 goal against, just in case you wanted to know, last year, I believe the Galaxy were 1 win, 3 losses, 2 draws. They had 7 goals scored, so same amount. Through 6 games, and 11 goals allowed through 6 games for the LA Galaxy. I often will say that the preseason doesn't mean a lot, right? Because you don't know when it means something, you don't know when it doesn't mean something. But if we go back and look at last year and say, well, the Galaxy scored 7 and gave up 11, that's actually a pretty close ratio to what it ended up being in terms of goals for and goals against throughout the season. And maybe that was a warning sign that should have been there. If we take that same and we look at it now, you know, you're halfway through, the Galaxy with 7 goals, the whole deal. Can we take something from the preseason, even though we haven't seen them play? Can the results mean something enough to us to draw any conclusions at this point?
See, I say no, but with that said, I also think that this could be the most important preseason for LA Galaxy in the last 3 or 4 years. You in preparedness, right? So scores and stuff, I'm sure Greg and they'll be forgiving, right? You concede a goal, you score 4, you lose a game 2-0, fine. As what's important for this team is there's new players, there's new integration. It's all about organization, preparedness, being ready. Score lines, I'm not sure that they'll matter as much. Would it be fun and a positive thing? Yeah, sure. But this is about being organized and having everyone on the same page from the first day of the season. This team cannot afford to get off to a negative start at all. You cannot lose the first game of the season. You cannot have a narrative saying, oh, here we go again. You cannot plant that seed in anybody's head. You've got to hit the ground running. You've got to make it count. And you've got to be, strong mentally. And I think those are the things that make this preseason the most important for LA Galaxy, Josh. I'm not sure it matters if you've only conceded 1 goal. What matters is those new players integrating into the defense, and players like Maya Yoshida maybe keeping the bench warm this season, maybe not even being captain.
I mean,
club captain maybe, yeah, but not team captain on a match day.
Very well. I mean, that's something that I think we watch and sort of go, I will say this. It's interesting that you talked about them being organized and how they're playing. I have, and I think I shared this on Monday Night Show, but I'll share it again. In my discussions with different people who have seen the team play and they have talked about, one person in particular said, it is night and day just in how they're warming up and how they're training, that they're organized, that they are together, that there is a fierceness in the competition already early. And it's hard to impress upon this. I will tell you, and maybe you'll see if you grasp what I'm grasping when somebody says this. Somebody goes, so I was talking to somebody at the season ticket member event, and I go, how's everything? And they go, did you see the guys today? I'm like, what do you mean? He goes, go around and look at all the guys. He goes, they're all going to be smiling today. He goes, they were jacked up after beating DC 4-1. Now, you're like, okay, preseason game, and you beat DC United, who I think, as somebody pointed out, probably is back-to-back wooden spoon, right? There's nothing there that you can sit at DC United and say, oh yeah, this is an important, oh, good job beating them. That's something. It's not about the opponents, so it's about the fact that they think they should be winning these games, and they're excited that they are, and if they don't win the games, they're going to be upset about that, even now, even in the preseason. So putting the plan together, making it happen, being organized, accomplishing a game plan against a team. From what I've heard, they have really pushed around most of the opponents they've played so far in terms of dominating ball possession and just dominating game flow and everything else. And the scores lay that out with us. We can sort of see that is, the result of that. So that to me means something. I think, to your point, being organized and going through, but the competitive factor of, we're not losing a game. Remember Maya Yoshida in 24 was like, we don't lose back-to-back games. We like that was a thing in the locker room. Everybody believed it was there. And you can do that when you're a good team, right? When you're a good team, you can sort of stick behind these little mantras that make you a better team. When you're a bad team like they were last year, it's hard to stick to those, right? But yeah, does that make sense that they were jacked up about DC?
It makes total sense. And what's interesting is preseason is very overrated in terms of fan appreciation and what you see in games and quality and stuff. But preseason is so underrated with fans in terms of truly understanding how important preseason is, right? So I know I always give an example of my Gunners, who, by the way, currently, I don't want to speak of it. I do not want to speak of it.
Okay.
I shall not speak of it.
Right.
Victor Gyökeres has been the butt of a lot of jokes, and rival fans and even some Arsenal fans and pundits and whatever had no preseason whatsoever, and then was out injured for 6 weeks. And people want him to be on 20, 25 goals already. It's ridiculous. The expectations sometimes are completely and utterly ridiculous.
Yeah.
And so this is so important for the guys coming in to understand as well the culture of the club. It's not going to be the same place you came from. And It's going to be much more elevated. You're going to be under more pressure. And then you've got tenured guys who've been here now long enough to, transmit what it means to be an LA Galaxy player. All of those things, Josh, they're the most important things in preseason. Of course, fitness and whatever. We know fitness comes much, as the season goes and stuff. But for me, this is LA. This is a pivotal. Put it this way. If things don't go well early and for a while,
right,
people have to lose their jobs.
Yeah.
They just do. Right?
Yeah.
But I don't think, knowing the people behind the scenes and the tenacity they have and the will and the belief as a group together, but also I think how insanely peed off they were with what happened last season.
Yep.
Right? And then to top it all off, Josh, you've got to come back into this season and get the news about
Ricky being out again. Yep.
Right? Then you've got to deal with that. So whatever plan you had going in is out the window. Do people actually comprehend and understand how insanely bad that is for a team like LA Galaxy and a business, a brand?
Yeah, the business
to lose the face of your company.
Yep. Again,
and lose them. What? A month before preseason starts?
Not like 18 days before it starts. Everything was sort of ramping back up to. I mean, realistically, we should all be discussing Ricky Puig playing in these preseason games right now. That's in a normal world, in an alternate universe, we are talking about that right now. How Ricky's back and the Galaxy are looking at this, and this is the play.
Right.
We talk about it's interesting because I tend to agree with you. I think the plan had to have changed whenever Ricky it gets hurt again.
100%, Josh. There's no way that you are looking at the defense. No, I don't think so. The defense, that's happening.
Yeah, that was happening either way. The Klaus thing, though, we heard that Klaus was already on their list of guys to go get. It was just a matter of how could they make it fit with the restrictions that they had with Ricky taking up a designated player. So whenever Ricky left, they basically were like, well, now we can get Klaus a lot easier. So it's interesting. I think what's going to happen is that the plan changed in terms of, hey, we're going to have to do something different. They did that, and I think now their plan is that there's a look towards the summer a little bit more than maybe they would have been now. Surprisingly, because there's rumors out there of different Galaxy players departing and different people coming to the Galaxy right now. I said this last show, and I'm sticking to it, at least for now, until I hear any differently, which is this team is set right now. I believe they're going to get another player. I don't know that player is going to happen right now. That player could happen in the summertime, and the way that Nascimento's contract is currently set up, where his contract expires in the summertime, that could give them flexibility to bring in 2 players in the summertime. I think there's a focus. I think there's an idea here, Soph, that the summertime after the World Cup is going to be a good time to pick people up in order to make things happen. We'll watch.
Might be
how
expensive.
That goes. Might be expensive, but also, why are they changing the whole schedule around? Is to align with the summer transfer window, right? And so I think you're going to see the teams try and get there a year earlier than everybody else. They're going to try to make that happen this summer as well. So I expect this summer to be big for MLS transfers. And what the LA Galaxy do with that is certainly interesting. But I will say this, that I feel like outside of having a straight up 10 playmaker that you would try to get to replace Ricky Puig, which you're not going to anyway, the Galaxy feel like they're set. I really feel like they do. And I think that we're sort of watching that to see, what that means. And we'll get to see on Sunday who is playing in that spot. Is it Royce? Is it Sanabria? And we have to talk about Sanabria because your current preseason goal scoring leader is Lucas Sanabria. This is a guy who has been taking massive amounts of crap all last year. And by the way, not unwarranted. He didn't show up, didn't show a lot, right? He was injured. He had the collarbone injury whenever he first came in, broke a collarbone. That set him back coming to a new country. We always talk about it. When you come to a new country, there is an adjustment period. And just everybody I always say, give people a little bit of chance, a little bit of grace.
Seriously.
And Sanabria has the body of a guy who can play in the 8. And whenever the Galaxy originally brought him in, we on the show talked to Will Kuntz about is he a 6 or an 8? And we sort of see him as an 8, more box to box than a 6. Well, if he's playing box to box right now as an 8, meaning getting forward now, he now has 2 goals from that position. If he's playing in a 10 role, he has 2 goals from that position. This is a guy who's dying to break out. You want to talk about like the guy who's most improved, or the guy who's going to show. Lucas Sanabria is on the top of that list for me because I think he's a football player. I think he looks like a football player. I was waiting to see the IQ come through. Maybe we see that this year. Haven't seen him play this year, but he's got 2 goals already. So
I thought that there were times last season where you saw the quality.
Every once in a while, right?
Yeah, and it's very different. Look, I mean, this team's had to reinvent itself in the creative sense. This team has had to throw everything out the window and start with a blank canvas. Even though you've got a core group of players there, you don't have the nucleus, right? And I think a player like Sanabria, I think it's time for some of these players to step up and out of Ricky's shadow. Stop talking about Ricky this season. Last season, it was sentimental because the team was coming off a championship winning season. I get it. In the end, maybe he shouldn't have played as long as he did, even though he got that, the assist when he did or whatever. Has he damaged his career?
Right.
I mean, we don't know these things, right?
Right.
Will he ever play for LA Galaxy again?
Don't know.
So there's a possibility that he may not, right? But these players have to create their own identity as a collective without him, and as individuals. Characters. This team needs characters. I spoke to Alexi Lalas on the show when the draw came up for the World Cup, and he was talking about he wants LA Galaxy to have bravado and characters and bring in the superstar. Like, this is LA. It's not just that you're LA Galaxy,
right?
Not, the other guys down the road or whatever. So I think there's an opportunity here for the players who've come to make a name for themselves in the league, with the community, in the city. And they have to do it because Ricky isn't there. Stop talking about him. It's boring. He's injured. It happens to players all the time. You've made an investment. It's not worked out, but it did work out. And maybe the memories with Ricky are just going to be that championship season. And it'll be a beautiful thing.
Right.
But right now, LA Galaxy just have to operate like that's not even happening ever again.
And I think you're seeing that. I certainly from the guys I've talked to is just sort of like, yeah, that sucks. And yeah, there's a moment where you sit there. I mean, it's the sports mentality, isn't so, which is like next man up. There really is something you
100%.
you have to have that. It's cliche, right? It's super cliche. It's a trope. It's everything that you want to sort of see that you're like, oh, well, that's what they're supposed to say. And that's no, it's a belief and feeling.
It's true.
If you've been around professional athletes enough, there really is a persistence to them it makes me angry sometimes. You're just like, you guys are horrible, and yet you're still able to go out there and play. Or oh yeah, you're right. I broke my leg for the 3rd time in 2 years, but you know what? It's fine. I'll come back. Like, I'm just gonna get. Just got to get up tomorrow and start working. The whole deal. So, it's annoying, but it's also enviable that they sort of are able to come to this. And I think you're gonna find this year that that young team that the LA Galaxy had last year is older this year, which of course it is, right? But it is older. It is more mature. I'll tell you right now, Greg Vanney told us last year how he had to change how he trained last year. He had to teach more on the training field instead of making guys sort of be able to learn on the fly. Whenever you have an older, more mature team, you're able to learn more on the fly as you're going through things. Like, hey, we're going to talk about this. Now that we talked about it, I want you guys to implement it. And he's like, that didn't work. We had to go through and be more specific with how we were doing that. I've heard already that everything's back to Greg Vanney trainings like as normal this year because everybody now has progressed to that point where they can do that. And the veteran talent they brought in. I mean, you're looking at Klaus, you're looking at Guesman, you're looking at Tommy, right? Eric Tommy. The guys that they have brought in and the whole are able to sort of uphold that standard as well and teach some of the younger kids. So I'm excited to see how that all plays out. Just for everybody's reminder, Miguel Berry was the goal scoring leader last year for the LA Galaxy in the preseason with 2 goals. So Lucas Sanabria with a goal on Sunday could break that Miguel Berry preseason record from last year, just in case you wanted to pay attention to that. Just stupid little things that we pay attention to on this. But I think this is really we are now halfway through the preseason. We haven't seen them play. We've gotten so little details about them that Sunday will be a little bit like Christmas morning, where we get to watch and see. And the Galaxy get to play against, I'm going to say it, and I'll say it again, the best team they're going to play against in the preseason. This is it. You wanted the matchup. It's Greg versus Greg. One guy spells it with 2 G's at the end, though, and one guy spells it with 1 G, and I don't know why you have to be, you have to get so many G's involved. But I guess with your Galaxy, it doesn't really matter. But former LA Galaxy player, Greg Berhalter, is coaching the Chicago Fire, and then, of course, you have Greg Vanney, former LA Galaxy player, coaching the LA Galaxy. So a lot of G's, I guess you should say, in there. So that is going to be the toughest game they play. So expect that to actually be a game. We will see how much everybody plays because it's the preseason. Halfway through, I'm expecting starters to go 60 minutes, maybe for the first time right now. This will be it. But also, so if you're 2 weeks away from playing San Miguelito in the CONCACAF Champions Cup and having an actual real game. So this is all happening very quickly. You know, it's like now. I can bring up the schedule. Let's do it. Sporting San Miguelito, 5 p.m. That one apparently is on FS2, so we're going to all be trying to chase that down and figure out exactly where it is whenever they play on Thursday the 19th. Then it's the LA Galaxy on Sunday at 4 p.m. whenever they have their season opener against New York City. Then the LA Galaxy will host San Miguelito again on 2/25 for the second leg of that CONCACAF Champions Cup. And then if you're paying attention to here, 1, 2, 3 home games in February, so we're going to be at the stadium a lot, which is always a good way to start. It's like you can't get enough, and then you get to all these home games. But the LA Galaxy will, of course, get Charlotte in there on the 28th, the last day of the month. So that's the schedule coming up for that. Let's go to some rumors, because there were some rumors out there. We certainly have been paying attention here on any of the rumors that might send Joseph Paintsil some places. That was the rumor. Now, I talked about it on Monday. I said, I believe I said, you probably shouldn't trust things that come out of Turkey. They're usually not true. And so, although I hadn't had a chance to chase it down, but I just, again, reiterated the fact, Soph, that I don't think the Galaxy want to move any pieces right now. I think they're very happy with where they are, and they don't want to rock that boat with, 14 days until the Galaxy kick off their first competitive game. So I would already suggest that's not the case. So anyway, there was a report out here, and the only reason I'm even bringing this up is because Tom Bogert got involved underneath it, so we'll talk about it. But basically, there was a Twitter account saying that the LA Galaxy rejected 2 League One bids for Joseph Paintsil, and basically the Galaxy were holding out for 17 to 20 million euros in order to get that. For Joseph Paintsil to leave, which is a lofty goal already. Whenever we're talking about Joseph Paintsil, to think that you would get $22 million for him is a little bit nuts and crazy. That being said, not completely out of mind. But anyway, Tom Bogert came out, basically said it very quickly. None of this is true. Again, neither was the Napoli Denke, and plenty of other nonsense. Hope this helps. So Tom in there, wrecking the hopes and dreams of people who thought Joseph Paintsil would be departing. And of course, I had people in the Discord linking Joseph Paintsil's departure to the arrival of Cristiano Ronaldo, who has also been, quote unquote, linked to the LA Galaxy, which
as has Casemiro.
So Casemiro is on there as well. Now, I was able to confirm at least interest from the LA Galaxy to Casemiro. So I can tell you that is at least a reasonable person that you might pay attention to. That being said, it certainly seemed to me, and whenever I was having this discussion, that was a long shot thing to sort of have happen. So I would suggest that the reports that are currently coming out about Casemiro coming in the summertime seem to be a little premature. I don't think the Galaxy really have... Listen, I know they plan on it. I know there's a big board and they have summer transfers and winter transfers, and there's a whole bunch of people on the whole deal. Casemiro on the big board, we knew that, but I don't know that they've penciled him in for a summer move or anything else at this point, so I would say premature. Just calm down, pump the brakes on it. So
Pump the brakes. Hold the mayo, hold the mustard.
Yeah. By the way, I got Jams goes $10 million profit in just 24 months is bananas. Yeah, that's what would Joseph Paintsil, you would make that. No, it's not going to happen. So that seems to be out of it. I will say, and I can't tell you the validity of this rumor, but I will say that it is an LA Galaxy rumor, and one that you should be watching, is Johnny Perez in Nashville possibly going to Chivas down in Liga MX. Now, the reason this is important, of course, Johnny Perez, former LA Galaxy player, was sold to Nashville for a whole bunch of general allocation money. In fact, $1.5 million from Nashville for the purchase of Johnny Perez. The reason this is important is that when the LA Galaxy transferred Johnny Perez, the Galaxy retained a sell-on percentage of that transfer fee if Perez was sold to another club. So, don't know how much that is. Could be 15%, could be 5%, could be 25%. We can find out if that actually happens, but that is a deal that the LA Galaxy might want to keep an eye on because that would involve more money coming in and more money being converted into general allocation money and all that. And I think I said it last time, but the league came out and said how much money the LA Galaxy have. I forget, in general allocation money, it was like $3.3 million, if I remember correctly. I want to point out that did not include a general allocation money payment that was coming to the LA Galaxy for Johnny Perez from Nashville, because Nashville owes them a certain, they pay it over a certain amount of time. So that did not include that. So that means that's more general allocation money that's coming into the LA Galaxy, which is good because they're going to need it too. So we will talk about that. But those are the rumors that are out there right now. You notice that none of those were number 10 rumors, by the way. Like, there's nothing in there that talks about getting another 10. Or a playmaker or anything like that. So it's all sort of mixed bag. Again, if you see,
that could change in this. Could that change in the summer, or is Tommy tied in?
Tommy is not going to restrict anything from happening. He's he's not even coming in on targeted allocation money. So he's a lower paid roster player. By the way, not lower paid in terms of, but like under TAM. So, $600,000, $650,000, $700,000, something like that.
It seems to me it's made total sense. It's logical, and I think business smart to wait until the summer. And like you said, it feels like this team has enough weapons, Josh, for me on paper, right? I haven't seen them play yet, but on paper, I'm excited about this team being a lot better this season. It looks, the defensive in standing ovation, I think, to Will for the defensive signings, because that is proven quality, and we're talking quality in the league. Knowing the league, I love all these fans getting excited about players that come from outside the league, and sometimes you just, after what happened last season, you need people who know what the grind is like, what toughness means, and the schedule, the travel, all of it. I think those two signings are brilliant. One of which, by the way, is versatile and could play in midfield, right? So, and there's opportunity. So there's opportunity here, Josh, right? Because who wants to be the boss? Who wants to be the partnership in midfield? Because I know people are pointing the finger at defense for a long time, but those balls were coming through the middle a lot too, right? That midfield was pretty much absent last season, and the relationships were off. There was none of that. So there's massive opportunity this season, and I think they're right to wait for maybe that perfect player in the summer.
Could be.
I mean, we just said it's going to be expensive, but you can find some gems. And this tournament, with it being expanded, there's going to be a lot more talent on display.
Should be fun. It's interesting to me just to sort of watch how this roster is constructed, and the Galaxy feel, I think, right now, and I will give them the benefit of the doubt. They've won all 3 of their preseason games so far. It's kind of hard to be like, oh, no, you're wrong. And they've scored goals doing it. I was fairly convinced you needed to find a 10. You need to find somebody that helps you, the whole deal. I don't know who's been playing in that role or how it's been happening so far, but whatever's happening so far is working. Maybe the Galaxy don't need a 10. Maybe they're playing without one. I don't know. I'm not there.
So you don't even know if it was the same lineup in each of the games.
Don't know. We have not gotten lineups for any of them. So nope. And when you talk to people, yeah. So one of the things I can say is, like, I've been able to sort of ascertain certain players' positioning. One of the people that you, of course, were talking about, Justin Hack, and his versatility, seems to have been playing in that midfield. And when he's been playing in that midfield, sort of maybe as a dual 6 with a dual pivot, perhaps with Cerrillo, or possibly even with Sanabria. I don't know. Royce has been in there too, so I don't know. I haven't seen how that looks, but we know that Hack has been dropping back into that back line whenever there's been an attack. And so then all of a sudden,
I think he's a star in the making. I think he's a star. I think he could be a real star on this team. There's something about that kid that is the it factor.
Yeah, it is.
You know?
We have to go over the retractions and corrections part of the show, as always.
I wasn't here. I didn't do it.
It wasn't
me,
you.
so.
No, it was me. And as always,
You and Panda.
as always, no, because he's in Milan, so it was me and Damien. And I was trying to get the international slots pegged down for where the LA Galaxy are. First of all, here's your roster that I have right now. The average age is 26.04 days. Or 26.04 years, and then the median age is 25 years old. That is a nice place to be. I currently, however, show that there are 12 internationals, and I think I had it at 11 last time. 12 internationals, and I thought the LA Galaxy had 8 spots, but of course the Discord and Mr. Lem always helping me out with that as well, to remind me, as I pull up all of the wonderful international roster slots that the LA Galaxy have here, that the LA Galaxy traded one of their international roster slots last year to FC Dallas for $200,000 in general allocation money. Now they did that. That means that the LA Galaxy only have 7 international slots instead of the 8 that everybody starts with, and therefore the LA Galaxy now would need to get international slots for 4 players at least. So the LA Galaxy out searching for 4 international slots in order to keep and be roster compliant. I imagine they will find those. I imagine they'll get it done. This is not something where I think you should be worried about it, but I would like to point out that that is something that is coming down. I didn't have Klaus as an international because I didn't check, quite honestly. I was like, oh no, I know this. I don't need to check that. Yeah, I should have checked. Klaus is international. Tommy is not. He has a green card. So that's not an issue. So right now, as it looks, your international players are Paintsil, Peck, Royce, Yamane, Sanabria, Nascimento, Yoshida, Garces, Aude, Mitrovic, and Klaus. Now, I also have Gino Vivi sitting in here, but I'll tell you right now, and this is my opinion only right now, is that I don't believe that Gino Vivi will be put on the senior roster unless he gets his green card, because they've been working on that now since September. We talked about that on Monday. So as an international player, I don't think he makes the senior team. As a domestic player, I think they'll put him on that roster. So that's why I have it as 12. And it's certainly, he is listed currently on that senior roster, but I believe that he might be loaned down to either Ventura County, or as Damien had talked about, which I think is a correct thing to do, is that maybe he has to go to USL in order to do that. So that's something to watch. That's something for roster compliance that we all have to sort of watch. And you're looking at, I believe, roster compliance date is on the 20th or 21st. That's when all that has to be done. So I have to imagine those are in the works and that type of thing. So if you see money start being traded around, it's the LA Galaxy going after international slots in order to land everybody they need. So
Very nice.
yes. Real quick about Chicago, though. This is gonna be a fun team to watch. They I would say overperformed last year. They made the playoffs. I think they finished in. Let's see. I even brought it up. I think they finished in 8th. 8th for a team that has been sort of struggling on the bottom. Greg Bergerholter doing a good job turning things around for them. But looking at all the players that they have go out, all the players that they have coming in, they have some relatively good designated players. Lewandowski is certainly somebody who I would expect probably joins this team in the summertime. So the fact they have 2 designated players right now is probably an indication that they're going to get.
Wait, excuse me?
Yeah. Come on, this is known stuff. This is like, that's the number 1 place right now for Lewandowski is probably going to be Chicago.
Who said that? Tom Bogert?
No, actually he has. I believe he has. Yeah. Yep. Absolutely.
What's the connection for him in Chicago? Or
I think one is, I think,
tell him about it.
Could have been, right? But I think that the real connection there is that I think they've had his discovery rights for a long time, and I think they've been keeping in touch whenever it's sort of been going on stuff. So there's been sort of the understanding that perhaps he could be coming. So I think that's why they only have 2 designated player spots. Still waiting on that, but we shall see what it ends up being. I don't think Lewandowski's coming to the LA Galaxy whenever the Galaxy have what I would consider a more long-term answer for them in that striker position. So I know
that is a shame.
I know.
Listen, this guy sleeps in an oxygen chamber. He doesn't even sleep on the left side of his body, so it doesn't put any pressure on his heart. He's a machine. He is the $6 million man right now. He would be in a remake of the $6 Million Man TV show. It would star Robert Lewandowski. He's a beast. He's unbelievable. I wanted Arsenal to sign him in the summer for our Win Now season.
Yes.
Get me Lewandowski. He'll get me goals, you know?
Yeah.
Wow. I supreme athlete.
By the way, really good for the league. I think he's such a good.
Oh,
I would love
yeah.
to see him play in LA, like 100%. And I really like that. Whenever I think the Galaxy were sort of looking for that striker and doing that, but I think
He'll be as good for the league as Thomas Muller.
Yeah,
like
100%.
that.
Yeah. By the way, Lasso points out there's a big Polish community in Chicago, right? So that probably helps. Let's put it that way. I'm not sure.
Well, yeah, like Son. I mean, he's oh, sugar. I nearly just said something out loud that would have got me in trouble.
Don't say those things. You're okay.
No,
You're okay.
I know, because it's a natural progression, but people are sending things out right now, and like there's an embargo until Tuesday.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you can't not allowed to say
And
certain
it's like,
things.
that's a long time to have to be careful about not saying anything about anything.
Embargoes for that long, like most of the time when we get, so just like behind, this is inside baseball, but behind the scenes, when we get embargoed press releases, I rarely get them for longer than like 2-3 hours. Like that's
2-3 hours.
That's it. They're like, hey, this is coming out in 2-3 hours if you wanted to have something ready, like blah blah blah. Every once in a while, if I've been really on top of something, I might earn something where it, like, I get the embargo for, a Thursday night, knowing something's going to get announced on Friday, and I can be really certain of things without saying going across the line, that type of thing. But yeah, I don't like it whenever I get embargo press releases. I'm always afraid I'm going to like screw it up. And put things out. Yeah.
Yeah, totally. And it's like there's an embargo on the announcement.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
before the announcement, it's a notice of something,
Yep.
and it's embargoed. Like, anyway,
it's lots of fun. Yes, sometimes trying to remember what you're allowed to say and what you're not allowed to say is the hardest part in trying to report anything. But anyway, I think Chicago's going to be really good. So when we see them on Sunday, just know that I think that team grows into its 8th place. It was in the 8th place. I imagine that they are a top 4 team in the Eastern Conference this year. That's my guess. I have nothing but love and respect for Greg Berhalter, by the way. Way back in the day, the LA Galaxy announcing their black and gold kit. It was the roof of the Grammy Museum where Greg Berhalter told me, just some dude who had a podcast who those guys paid no attention to. This was back in the early days, right? 2011, maybe it was. Yeah, 2011. But early days. And Greg Berhalter comes up. He's got a drink in his hand. I'm like, hey, Greg, how's it going? He's like, good. I'm like, so, blah, blah, blah. We started talking. He goes, well, I'm retiring. This is it. This is my last year. And I'm like, are we allowed to know that? He goes, yeah, I don't care. The whole deal. And then we got to talk about it on the podcast the next day. It was great. So it was like one of those first things that was like, oh, okay, that's cool. So love me some Greg Berhalter, and I really think that Chicago's going to be good. Last thing for me before we sort of once again remind you that you should be out at Coachella Valley Invitational. Oh, there's 2 more things. I lied. One is this. The LA Galaxy put this out on Instagram, put this out on Twitter, on X, all those places. It is a 2/10/26 announcement of some sort. You should not...
Not saying anything.
Just if you were in the Discord, all right? If you're in the Discord... don't be putting this in the transfer rumors, all right? This is more than likely a kit release, all right? So just letting you know. It's the kit release that you probably have already seen because you saw pictures from the season ticket member event, but it is the official kit release, and MLS controls all that, and so that is what I would expect that to be. So don't get so excited, all right? Everybody calm down. I try to remind people to chill sometimes, and even sometimes I'll text the Galaxy, be like, hey, this is what this is, right? And they're like, yeah, but don't say anything. I'm like, well, I'm gonna tell them it's not a new signing because otherwise everybody's gonna get all hyped up about it. You can't.
Yeah, it's definitely not a new signing.
No, so that's something that's there. So 2/10, that'll be when the LA Galaxy, I believe, are going to be releasing that kit. That's my guess at this point. Just letting you know.
I'm not.
Yeah, you don't guess things. It's fine.
No.
The other part that I wanted to tell you, and that some people saw, and I just thought this was interesting, but if I want to talk about the economics of this a little bit, just because
I'm not good at maths. My weak spot.
It's nothing. Listen, it's not going to affect anybody in our chat room. It's not going to affect you, Sophie. It's not going to affect me. But there is something, and if you've been paying attention to Vancouver and their argument that their lease up in Vancouver is prohibiting them from basically making money at the same rate that other teams make money, because basically they can't be competitive because they don't own their own stadium, and that they need to find a solution to that. Basically, there's a $40 million shortfall, that they have like less than $40 million. They're making $40 million less than everybody else because of this, right? The whole deal. So that's part of this. One of the arguments for Vancouver is that there isn't a large corporate backing to perhaps the Whitecaps, right? Now, we go to LA Galaxy, and you've all seen the boards and the sponsorships and the different things they have there. But sometimes you don't think about the premium seats, Soph, and who sits in those premium seats, right? Or who sits in the suites. The majority of those are probably going to be corporate sponsors of some sort, where a corporation buys a suite or a corporation buys a string of tickets. Now, for them, that money is a write-off, right? And that's an important part of what they do. Perhaps they take clients there, they entertain employees, they do it as a whole thing. But
schmooze.
Yeah, they schmooze, right? 100%. But the premium offerings that the LA Galaxy put out, I would say the majority of those are probably more corporate people than they are just everyday people who have a lot of money. So the Galaxy came out with something new today on the premium side of things, and they're called field tables. All right. Basically, it is access to these 10 tables, I believe, exclusive to 10 Half Moon tables. The field tables provide, and I'm reading from the press release, a unique field level experience for fans craving more immersive experience. 5 tables are located on the Galaxy sideline, with 5 additional positioned along the visiting team sideline, placing guests just steps from the pitch and fully immersing them in the atmosphere of match day. So I actually have I have the graphic for the tables and what they look like as well. So this is 4 people. Each of these field tables includes exclusive pitch side seating for a party of 4, paired with elevated stadium fare served to the table, a selection of non-alcoholic beverages with a full bar available to order, and a dedicated attendant to deliver seamless, personalized service throughout the match. Now, the City National Field Table, so they have a sponsor for these as well, right? This is all important. This is the economics of this. The City National Field Tables start at $23,400 per seat per season. All right. So, and will be available for the Galaxy home opener on February 22nd. Space is extremely limited. For more information or to inquire about it, fans can go to premium.lagalaxy.com. This is, and of course, going to the premium sales sides of things. Now, we joke about rich Galaxy fans. I'm sure there will be some. I bet I know somebody who ends up at one of these tables throughout the year, right? It's one of those. I know that there are some fairly wealthy LA Galaxy fans who could definitely afford some of that stuff. Now, if you are buying the entire table for the season, Sophie, that comes in at just under $100,000. Just wanted to point that out, right? 4 seats, 23 and some change, right? It's just shy of $100,000. That's a significant expenditure on that. But we all know that those seats and what they're doing and the food they're providing and all that sort of stuff probably don't come anywhere close to $23,000 per year of what they're doing.
Absolutely not.
So who are you selling those to? And my argument would be that you're selling those more to corporations that are able to put in $100,000, and then they have this unique experience. They get their things, same as sort of the stuff. I'm going to argue that in order to have a healthy corporate sort of sponsorship of your club, that you need to offer premium services like this, because how much it has to be the profit margin on a $23,000 seat for, this is like, supporters are really important because they bring the atmosphere and they do all the stuff. But we know that the LA Galaxy in general probably don't make a whole bunch of money off of supporters tickets, right? And so I think, so the premium side of things is where they make the most profit margin, in the suites and in the cabanas and, in these other places, the whole deal. That's where they make that money. And when they're able to make that money, then that supports the club and that goes. Vancouver's having this problem where it seems like they don't have that base, and that's one of the reasons they struggle so much in terms of, they also don't own their own stadium, right? So again, there's 40 people who get this experience every game. That's it, the whole deal. So it's not a huge thing on the whole thing, but it's an interesting.
I bet they'll sell them.
You think they'll sell them all, right?
Home one. Yeah, I do, because more and more so now, because of social media and for the gram, people who have the money will pay because, number one, it's content. Number two, It looks good on my Instagram. And number 3, if I'm going to go watch a game, this is how I'm going to watch it. Now, I've done the whole top tier experience at football games, you know, from having the caviar and the champagne and all the different stuff and whatever. I love watching football with fans. I'm a football fan, right?
Right.
There's part of the game that I detest, and that's a strong word.
Right.
How it's just all about money now.
Yeah, it is.
Right.
Yep.
They try to sell you it's a fan experience. It's not. It's just a way to make additional revenue money. And as a business, you have to do that. And let's be honest, LA Galaxy weren't very good at doing this before. They just were
It feels
not
like they weren't, right?
opening the additional business channels to bring in ROI. They weren't good at that. When it really ignited was when LAFC came to town. And they had it down.
Right.
The stadium, the experience, the tables, the pool thing, the bar back there. And it's been great to see LA Galaxy step it up with the cabanas and all the bits. And now this is an additional revenue stream. This is what gets you that extra player when you want it, guys.
Yeah.
This is why they have to do it.
Yeah.
Right.
It does. It's
Make
just
you more
crazy.
competitive.
It's just crazy though. $23,000. That's a lot of money, man.
I find it very you know,
exclusive.
and also I'm not being funny, but give me a better table and chairs. That looks like my garden furniture, man. What is that about?
I'm gonna say something.
Come on, a wicker table.
I got
Who
to
went and pick that out?
I got to go sit on the field side seats whenever it was the LA Galaxy Unified team. I got to sit field side and watch that, and I mean it's cool and all, but like you're too close. I like having my seat up in the press box and getting like the full view of the pitch and all that stuff. I'm like I'm much better. And even like whenever my company had season tickets, it was like 4 or 5 rows back up off the rail. And like it was an okay seat, but it's better to be a little higher sometimes, and you get a better view anyway. So yeah, it's a
also everyone can see you eat there. Like I want to take a really big bite of my burger. I listen, Josh. I understood that maths. That's for sure. You didn't go into tam and gam and ham and all that stuff.
I didn't.
So I didn't get lost.
By the way, Chris in the chat room says, all I know is I'm ready to have Josh's charts back. I miss them and the graphs. So in honor of Chris, we will of course play the jingle that everybody loves, which is of course our charts and graphs.
Bar charts and graphs, bar charts and graphs. Barto's gonna give us our charts and graphs. Bar charts and graphs, bar charts and graphs. Come on, give me those stats.
Which we will be able to once again do as soon as we actually get a real game being played and bring back all the charts. I'm getting them ready for the 26th season, so I have to clear everything out. I have to add new columns. I got to put them down, so we will, of course, get that all set and ready for everybody. I
love that song. It reminds me of Panto. Hello, sailor. Who's that behind you? There's no one behind me. Behind you. All right, let's go, mate. Come on.
That feels like a uniquely British thing, I would imagine. Yes?
Pantomime.
Yeah.
You guys don't have pantomime.
I don't think we have pantomime here. No.
It's very silly theatre.
Yes.
But it's affordable. It doesn't cost $23,000 to get us.
just
don't hate me.
No.
I'm just...
No. We should see if. Here's the other thing is, and Mr. Bravito said it as well. That the Galaxy don't always sell out their suites. There are usually suites available. I would imagine that they won't always sell out these tables. It's sort of like a first class ticket on an airplane. Which is, they don't always get sold. And why you hold them open? Because every once in a while somebody needs to take a last minute trip and they're going to book it first class, and you get it's $12,000 round trip instead of the $1,200 that, it could be if you had a seat. So every once in a while stuff like that happens. So we'll see how that goes.
Here's the scoop: how you sell those tables.
Yeah.
Like for the whole season.
Yeah.
Is if
you don't charge $23,000 per seat.
No, you don't charge 23. No, but if you had a Messi, you would have those would be sold out. And I'm not saying Messi, but I think whether it's a rock star in midfield or a rock star up front or whatever, I think we're missing a trick still. I'm pleased. I like it, but when I was Thomas Muller last year, man, what a guy.
Yeah, a fun guy to watch too, and just the whole thing. No, I mean, I think there's. Listen, I'm always going to argue that the LA Galaxy needs stars and championships in order for it to all align. And so I, of course, was told that I was incorrect because the Galaxy won a 2024 championship and the place was packed. I will tell you that I still feel that you need a pretty big draw. So anyway, we got to get to some super chats before we end this because I've been ignoring them for the whole time. We did talk about this lasso, $10 super chat, evening, gents and ladies. Casemiro's all we keep hearing. Really, anything to this? Seems we'd be better served with a 10. No, again, let's wait and see. I think if it's a summertime move, there's plenty of time between now and the summer to assess what the LA Galaxy need, what the LA Galaxy don't need.
He's playing great right now. He's really hit some form with Manchester United since the managerial change. Yeah,
and then of course he says he's leaving at the end of the year, right? So we'll see.
Yes.
If we learned anything from Weston McKennie, who was definitely not getting a new contract with Juve. And then goes out and play just absolute tear. And now they're like, you know what? We've agreed to a contract extension with Weston McKennie. And like every time I think that somebody can lure that kid back to MLS and he'll just be this superstar of mass proportions in Major League Soccer, he goes on a tear. And Juve, somebody put it correctly in the Discord, I love this guy's career arc. Every season, we got to get rid of McKennie. And then every time, like 8 weeks into the season,
amazing.
We got to keep him, So... really fun to see that. So the next one is Crazy Brain. Our prediction to be team MVP this season. Team MVP. I know. This is easy for me. I got it.
Team MVP. Ooh. I think it might be one of the new defenders.
Glesnes would be a strong candidate.
Glesnes.
Yeah.
I think he could. I'm going to go... Because if there's going to be an emphasis on defense, which is very good news, I'm going to go. I think he'll come in and be a hero, superstar. I think Maya's going to see a lot of the bench.
Maybe. Could be. Don't know. He certainly seems, he talked to Kevin about that. He was like, I want to start. We're like, okay, cool. Sounds great.
Yeah, well, wanting to and being right to start are two totally different things.
He's going to find you.
I love Maya.
Yeah,
he's a god. He's just unbelievable human being, firstly, but
yeah, tops.
He had it rough last season. That was not pretty to watch. Sorry.
Crazy also says, who's the starting 11? I'll handle this one. I got you. Mitrovic. I'm gonna say, surprisingly, this already it's thrown me for a loop. I think Aude's gonna start at left back. John Nelson just started the contract. John Nelson's he has every right to just rib me every time he sees me because I have just been like, Aude's gonna start. Nelson just keeps showing up, gets the contract extension. I'm still out here. One is I keep trying to sell Aude. Nobody will let me yet. So
I like Aude.
I really like him going forward. I love him going forward. I think the Galaxy have a defense that's so strong in the middle now, especially whenever I say Aude is going to be there. On the right-hand side, it's going to be Amane. Both of those guys can invert, but not only that, Hack is going to start with Cerrillo at the 6, possibly putting either Sanabria or Royce. I'm thinking I'm going to start Sanabria, and I'm going to bring Royce off the bench to just kill people whenever they get tired. So
100%.
I'm all jazzed about that. Then you basically have a starting up top of Paintsil and Klaus and Peck. I think those ones are the easiest there. I think you can rotate. In somebody like Parente or Lepley if you don't want to put Cerrillo in, or if you're gonna take Hack back and put him into a center back position, you can rotate those guys in. Eric Tommy's going to play, I think, a pretty big role in this team as well. I think he's going to sort of take over the Fagundes role, do that. But I think your starting 11 is going to be something like that. On Sunday, I would expect that you're just going to see Glesnes in there with Glesnes and Garces right now. That's going to be my guess to start at center back. And then Mitrovic starts in goal and all that sort of stuff. So, yeah.
Where's your... I just had to have a look at this. But what about Winder?
I'm big on Winder. I think he's going to play some minutes. I think that it's actually, this is going to sound stupid. You don't have Ricky Puig and it's crowded at midfield. It's crowded in midfield. There's a lot of people for that center spot. So I think they're all going to get a chance. Greg said and has hinted at the fact that there might be 2 lineups to start this season. One that plays in CONCACAF Champions Cup and one that starts in MLS, and that they're going to sort of rotate those back and forth because they think that they have the depth to be able to do it, and they think that they're going to be competitive with it. Yes.
What's the scoop with Ramirez? Why is he still in this team?
Because they extended signed him to, I guess, a new contract. I don't know.
When?
That was at the very. So it happened in the middle of the season at some point. We don't know when because they never announced it. But at the end of the year, with roster decisions, they announced that he had another year, or that they added another year onto the contract. So that was
Wow. If they added another year, that is.
I have a feeling.
I'll eat my words. If he's a star this season, I mean, boy, he was bad last year.
I will say this.
He couldn't hit he couldn't find a goal with a map and a compass, mate.
I mean, and some of that is probably true. I think he's actually, with Klaus being the number 1, I think Ramirez will be in a good position to be the number 2. And I have a feeling the sticker says Redemption Tour. We have the Redemption Tour that I'm expecting sort of from Ramirez. I have Redemption Tour from Nascimento, Redemption Tour from Sanabria. Like, there's a bunch. Mitrovic is on a Redemption Tour. Like, there are a bunch of guys who get to prove a whole bunch this year, and I'm here for it. So I'm here.
You think Nascimento?
Yes.
Really?
He was okay, but he was not the striker the LA Galaxy needed. He needs to be that guy. He needs to find that.
No one
hunger.
was anyone they needed. I mean, Peck. You want to talk redemption? Peck and Paintsil, mate. I'm telling you, they need to show.
Yep.
They need to show up.
Redemption Tour. It's redemption season, baby. That's what this is. That's why. That's the
Ramirez
undercurrent.
Could be a super sub.
He may score 12 goals this season coming on in the last 12 minutes.
From the bench.
Yes. Mm-hmm. And I can see it from him. He has the ability to do it. So I'm tending to be more positive in the early side. And then when they start disappointing me, then we will get real on it. But it's the preseason. I haven't seen him playing. Everybody's playing great as far as I can tell. That's it. So how
much pressure is Greg under?
None, unless they don't win early. Like, you can't go 3 games without a win. Like, that's going to start mounting pressure. The pressure will ramp up very quickly. Mm-hmm. There's none until, and all of a sudden it's going to be like snapping point, right? Like, it'll be that fast. I don't think that's going to happen. I think that San Miguelito is not a team the LA Galaxy will need to worry about. And that's all due respect to them. I
thought you were ordering a beer. Sorry, what? Who?
Yeah. That's their CONCACAF Champions Cup guys, right? In Panama.
Sorry, guys.
But I don't think that that's a problem. I don't think that second round, the Jamaican club, is a problem for the LA Galaxy. Like, there should be no issues with either of those two teams. So you're going to get wins there. Now, are you
pleased with some promises? I think that maybe were made and not delivered. Yeah. But like the dude's from New York, he's like one of the most exciting young players in the country, and you not only lose him, but you lose him to like an LA team.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's gonna bite. They're gonna be hurt by that one, I reckon, for a while, kids.
Yeah, it'll definitely.
Stradamus predicts.
Yeah.
They won't be able to hack it.
No, that's exactly what it is. Can't hack it. New York City. Finally, Aaron says $2 super chat. Sophie should do an Irish accent. I can't. If I try to do an Irish accent, it turns Scottish, and then it's bad.
Yeah, it does sometimes.
Yeah,
this is Frank Carson for the 6 o'clock News Island.
There you go. That was for Aaron. Aaron will be so excited. It's just thrilled. All right, so that's what we have. That's the LA Galaxy. They're coming up. Everybody's supposed to join us. February 8th, Corner of the Galaxy, Coachella Valley Invitational. Come on out. It is LA Galaxy for Chicago. 11:45 a.m. is there. We will be there. So I have to be there at like 7:30 to start setting up. So I will be there when the gates open at 9. Come by, swing by. The star on the map is where you can find us. And we're looking forward to it. We're going to have a lot of fun. Eric's going to be in town. So everybody's excited for all of this. All right. Sophie, anything else that you would like to talk about?
I wish I could be there. I wish I could be there. Unfortunately, I cannot.
I was going to say, you're more than welcome to come out. You know that. So
no, I appreciate it very, very much. I've been consumed with this season as you all can imagine as to why.
Yep.
But yeah, no, have a great time, have a ball. Is there stuff going on? Maybe I'll pop out there for lunch one day. It's really, I got a good few years ago when I first started going out with Tony. There was some layoffs in the entertainment industry. It happens all the time. And I was really bummed about it because I was like, man, I really like that gig. She goes, don't worry, don't fret. I'll take you to lunch. I go, okay, no problem. I'll go, get ready.
Right.
She took me to lunch in Palm Springs.
See?
And we hung out in Palm Springs, had lunch, and then came home.
That's a very LA thing to do, isn't it? It's like,
Isn't it?
it's every once in a while you go to Palm Springs and you go out there. I heard the temperature's supposed to be up there, so expect like 80s, 85s. It's dry heat, I'm sure, right? We'll all be good. Yeah.
And you're not letting the Hammer wear shorts.
I told him he
poor
could.
guy.
He's talent, Sophie. He can do whatever he wants. You don't tell Lady Gaga she can't wear shorts, right?
No, you do not put
it's the
Lady
same.
Gaga in the corner.
That's right.
And you don't put the Hammer in the corner.
100%. All right, so tell people where they can find you. Let's go.
At Highbury Squad, it's been a pleasure. Great being back. Look forward to doing this again with you this season. I think it's going to be a fun one, kids. At ease, have a good time. Look after yourselves. Be good. And go the United States. The Olympics. Let's do this.
That's going to be fun Friday. I mean, the game stuff is already starting. If you're looking for me, of course, on any of the social media, it's at Galaxy Podcast. And then head on over to cornerofthegalaxy.com, SoundCloud, iTunes, any place you could find your podcasts, you can find Corner of the Galaxy. See you on Sunday. We're excited. Hope to see you there. We got stickers. We can't wait to see everybody. Please join us out at Coachella Valley Invitational. All right, for Miss Sophie, the Cannon Nicolaou, I'm Josh Patrick Guesman, and you've been listening to our little Corner of the Galaxy. Have a great one, everybody.
You've been listening to the Corner of the Galaxy podcast on cornerofthegalaxy.com. You can follow the show on Twitter and Instagram at Galaxy Podcast. And be sure to check out and subscribe to iTunes, Stitcher, and Facebook by searching for Corner of the Galaxy. Fans, we thank you for listening. We ask that you be kind and courteous to your neighbors as you leave the podcast. We thank you for joining us and look forward to seeing you again. Until then, I'm Michael Araujo, and on behalf of the entire Corner of the Galaxy crew, goodbye, everyone.